welcome to my channel. I'm Joni. This is my first video of 2026, and I thought I'd go through all the sketchbooks I used in 2025. Not all of the art in the sketchbooks, but just give an overall review of the sketchbooks I used. So I had stepped away from art for quite a few years, and due to downsizing my life, I took the opportunity to get back into art. So the first sketchbook I started with in 2025 was this little cutie. I'm sure all the artists are familiar with this at this point, sketchbook artists. It's a Talens art creation sketchbook. And this size really, the big white page was too intimidating for me. So this was the perfect little sketchbook to start on my journey because it's got the off-white paper and it takes everything well but watercolor, including gouache. So I used this little sketchbook from March and filled it in more than any other sketchbook. I do use tissue paper in between my pieces. So that started off the year. So I liked this one so much. The square format was also really, really easy for me. I really enjoyed it. Then I went to this one. So a little bit different format, but same delicious colors, same off-white paper, and just allowed me to do a few more things. And then some of these, I think like this, I ended up making a sticker out of and things like that. So good format for that kind of thing. And then that moved me up to the next size. I was ready to go a little bit bigger. So again, these Talens art creation sketchbooks really allowed me the freedom to experiment with materials without it costing a lot and without me feeling like I was ruining good paper. So this is when I started to work on a logo for myself. I thought I'm opening a shop and I need some kind of logo, so I was working on that. But yeah, again, a little warping on the pages, but it really takes materials well. So that's what started off the year. I ended up buying all the different sizes. So this is the largest, and I don't really do art in here yet, but it did make a wonderful place to have all of my swatches. So that's what I use this one for. And then when I am looking for a specific color of something, it's really easy for me to know that my craft sketchbook is the sketchbook that has all that. So the other sketchbooks I used, this is an Alt Alternatives. I got it many years ago at a local art store where I lived. Oh, sorry, I got distracted. We have a bunch of geese flying over there. Amazing. Anyway, this has thin paper, not really. I did a few pieces of art. Mostly I ended up using it as a notebook for my orders and some swatches and things like that, but I don't really use this kind of, I started this in October of 2019 and I don't use it much, would not recommend for mixed media. The next one I use, this again is a notebook I started in October of 2019. It's a B paper, super deluxe, so it's good with wet media. I use it for experimentation. This is my little pumpkin art. I'm not gonna spend too much time, but yeah, it's okay. It's not my favorite. I don't know why. I can't tell you why. This was acrylic. So I've used mixed media. This is when I started in March, or I think the first one I did in February. These are sigils. These are from before in 2019. Just not a favorite. It's okay. I'll use it, but just not as frequently. The paper's a little thinner, I think, It's 93 pound. So in the art creation, I don't remember if I kept any of I don't remember what the poundage of the paper, but it's more durable. So the next thing I tried, or I got these, and this is what I'm talking about. These are Strathmore mixed media 100% cotton. These are the next level up as far as what they cost. And so they became really precious to me. And so I've done, this is 90-pound paper, but it's made for mixed media. So this paper takes materials so much better than the Super Bee. The materials that I use, which tend to be gouache, colored pencil, ink, wet media, more wet media. So, but because it costs more, I've done one piece of art in it, I think, in November. So that's when I started it. I've had it for months, but didn't use it. And then this is the larger size of the Strathmore. Again, this is a gorgeous sketchbook with gorgeous paper. This is the 500 series. Again, 100% cotton. Have not used it because I'm waiting to be able to do good art before I do. This is a sketchbook I started in November 2020. It's a Stillman and Byrne Zeta series sketchbook. So this is a wet media sketchbook. You can use wet media. You can see it warps the pages a little bit, but I started it, I was gonna make it a travel journal when I went to Germany. This was one of the Ferris wheels at night. Just ended up not doing that. Did some early 2020 images in the winter. I don't know why, I tend to use this in the winter. This is actually the full spread that I did here. I started out sort of hating this sketchbook. I ended up doing these weird kind of sort of things I wouldn't have done in my other sketchbooks. But some cute stuff too. Anyway, I didn't like the paper at all. And now I love the paper. I've been able to do, it works really well for the mixed media that I'm doing currently, which is ink and gouache and pastel. This is a really great sketchbook for that. So loving this currently. Again, bought it in 2020, didn't use it a whole lot, and have fallen in love with it again. That's true of a lot of these sketchbooks. So if you bought a sketchbook and you don't love it now, and you like experimenting with different materials, don't get rid of it. You might end up loving it. Same with these. These are, the next three, I think, are Canson graduate sketchbooks, just different formats. Again, I didn't love this paper when it feels very cellulose. So I was not loving it when I started using it, which was in November 2025. But I have really come around to this paper. These, again, are cost-effective, very cost-effective sketchbooks. And so when I want to try something else that isn't a masterpiece, it makes it really easy to use this. So this layout, I've just kind of made a couple since I just started it, but Canson graduate, I think in one of these, yeah, so here's the cover page for this. So it's 123 pound, so it's a little bit thicker paper. This one, I started from the back forward. Yeah, I do things. But again, gouache, kind of a big thing, didn't bleed through. Look at the dark colors, did not bleed through to the next page. So loving this. So sorry, that was Fester. So I got the big format and did kind of my first large pieces this winter. Great for mixed media. Gouache. There's a little, I'm sure, colored pencil I usually use, and some maybe acrylic pens. So yeah, those were all the sketchbooks that I used in 2025. Probably seems excessive. Undoubtedly is excessive, but that's me. I like experimenting with different materials. And again, I was just stepping back into art as of March of 2025. I could not have gotten where I am today without these little Royal Talens sketchbook. And you see, these are just perfect little minis, easy to take places, easy to make. This was my first sketch. I just made a simple little ink, and I think it was watercolor. No, this was probably, I was super into markers at the time, which the markers do bleed through, but then I just took my scrap pieces of paper and then taped them in on the other side. So thank you for joining me here. I hope this information was useful to you, and I know not everybody has the resources. I have downscaled my life so that my resources are limited, but you can pick up a few things here and there, you know, when they're on sale. And if you're going to do art, allow yourself to experiment. That's my encouragement for you. We need art. We need creativity in the world. So thank you for joining me here today. I really appreciate you being here, and I hope you like and subscribe, and that I will see you again soon. Bye for now.